I walk in and it's Hulk Hogan there. I'm sitting there and Hulk's like, "Hey, Jockster, what's up, brother?" I'm like, "Boy, do you know at 5 and 6 years old, boy, you was on my underwear."
Ay, run it up by the morning. Only one still on it. Only one still on it. Only one still really feel the feel, getting it on. Yeah, yeah. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go.
All right, welcome to the Culture Club Uncensored. I'm your host, Osei The Dark Secret, and this is the podcast where we emphasize how music influences everything. Today, man, well, many of y'all know our guest today from VH1's hit reality show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, multi-platinum, Grammy Award nominated artist, television personality, radio personality, father, husband, producer, certified platinum with bangers like It's Going Down, I Know You See It, First Time, which is certified gold, but the one and only, Jaceel, Young Jock, Robinson.
I'll take that.
You take it?
Hey.
Jaceel Robinson, Young
Yeah.
Jock, what's up, bro?
I'm good, man. You know, it's not too many times that I've been introduced as Jaceel Robinson.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to hear somebody say it.
I know, man.
And I like it.
Listen, you know, you done evolved into your career.
Yeah.
You know, you doing some different things.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, what were you listening to on the way over here?
I wasn't listening to any music. My daughter and I had, I find myself listening to less music in the car.
Okay.
Because I have a morning show, right? So I'm in radio for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, you listening to everything.
And so I find myself when I'm in the car, that's my safe space. And it's so safe that I guard my thoughts. And I probably sound weird saying it, but I really have to guard my thoughts because they be running through my head at such a high rate. You know what I'm saying? Just thoughts. And when I turn the music on, I get lost in the music opposed to my thoughts. And I just find the car is one of my most creative. It's a haven for me, believe it or not. So I don't really get a chance to listen to music. I don't really listen to music in the car much, which is crazy.
Yeah.
As much as I love music, have done music and do music, I just don't listen to music in the car like that.
When you are listening, what's on your playlist?
So I tend to find myself listening to oldies. It's so interesting. Like I got a playlist right now. It's gonna have some Isley Brothers on it, some Teddy Pendergrass. You know what I'm saying? Some Earth, Wind and Fire, some Atlantic Starr.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put me some UGK, some Outkast on there. I might put some Jay-Z, some Big, some Pop. I might have some Lil Baby, some Future.
Yeah.
I switch it
Mix
up.
it
I might
up.
have a little Gotti in there. Might have a little Dolph in there. Might have a little Gucci in there. Might have a little Jeezy in there.
Yeah,
So
man.
I just switch it up. I don't really. Right now, I've been finding myself listening to these songs that have a nostalgic feel to them, like "Can I Call You Rose?" I don't know if you heard that record.
No, who was that? Can I Call You Rose?
Can I call you Rose?
That's old school.
Can I call you Rose?
I know the song when you sing it.
And you know where I found it at?
Where?
On IG. I'm just going through IG and I hear it. I'm like, what is this? I keep hearing this song. And of course, October London.
October London.
Your Place. I was one of the first people that I know.
Yeah.
I was listening to that record almost a year before it hit.
Yeah.
And I remember going into Love and Hip Hop while, I'm doing my green screen.
Yeah.
And I'm playing. Everybody like, "Oh, so you listen to some Marvin Gaye?" I'm like, "Nah, this ain't Marvin." It's like, "Oh, yes, it is." I'm like, "Nah."
Yeah.
October London.
So you can play that type of stuff when you're doing your green screen.
Well, they want you to be as comfortable as you can be, and I think that music sets the tone sometimes. You know what I mean? Let's just be for real.
It does. What do you think about music now? Having been an artist, you are an artist, but just its influence and impact on people and youth. Because you spoke about not listening. You didn't want anything in your thoughts when you're in the car, and that's your safe space. What are your thoughts on that now?
So, it's just real, man. Like right now, if you take your kid, right? If you take your kid to see a good action movie, after the movie is watched, It doesn't even have to be watched in its entirety. After this movie has been watched, what do kids normally do after they watch movies?
They reenacting
it. You walking out the lobby,
yeah.
they run up, punching a little popcorn bucket into the trash can because they're influenced by it. And I notice that when I listen to certain music, I'm influenced by it. Instantly. I could be in a great mood. A certain song could come on and it can just change the trajectory of my thoughts for that day. I'm on some hey, I ain't lacking out here if I'm listening to a certain type of rap. Or I might listen to a certain type of rap that just put me in a great mood, that make me just want to act out like young Jock. You know what I'm saying? Then I may put on something that it may not be gospel, but it might have a reverence of gospel there that makes me feel like I need or want to be uplifted. So I just know that I try to still clip anything that makes me want to take away from my own community. I try not to listen to anything that makes me want to have a FVCK outlook on things. You know what I'm saying? I try to channel that positive, just happy, just morally inclined sense of just awareness. I'm looking for something that make me feel good. So I don't want to say too much about the state of music. I try not to bash what's going on because I understand things come in waves and cycles, trends and fads. And I think that right now with our culture, I'm noticing the one genre that is starting to be at the forefront of our culture right now is actually Afro beats. And I think it's because it's such a breath of fresh air that people can be open and honest about loving people, open and honest about being unsure of yourself when you trying to approach the girl. Opposed to when I walk in, I got 50 of them and 8,000 bottles and $1 million worth of that's kind of,
You feel like Afrobeat, like you have any of that on your playlist? You listening to anybody in particular?
Yeah, I actually just, hey man, I just put it on there and let it ride out.
Okay.
I don't really necessarily have a particular artist I go to, but I just know that certain songs when it comes to that space right now just make you feel good. You don't have to think about it. I don't even have to hear the words. The music just, like, think about Tyler.
Yeah.
Right?
Water.
You just, even though it's a song that a woman is singing and she's speaking of her experience of wanting you to make her feel as feminine as possible.
Right.
Make her water.
Yeah.
Even me hearing that song is for a woman. I mean, make me sing, make me, and I catch myself be like, damn, hold up, really singing this?
Yeah.
So I think it's at the forefront right now. More labels are signing that right now. If you look at most big artists right now who have been, whether they rap or especially R&B, even the R&B cats are Chris Brown, Usher. Just sit back. And some songs you don't even realize it's kind of because they figured out a way to give you a little of this and a little of that. But if you really just sit back, look at the frontier of what's going on. Afrobeats is really big right now.
Yeah, that's how music really used to be, though. You could say a lot of things without saying it explicitly, right?
Yes.
And so with Afrobeat, you get a lot of the elements without it being over the top.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be influenced. It's influenced by hip hop. Everything is.
I mean, it definitely is, but it's also a cycle. I think it'll turn around and influence hip hop. Of course, hip hop has influenced it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's gonna turn around, and it's not gonna turn around. It's happening right now. It's influencing hip hop as we speak.
Yeah.
Cats is figuring it out. Like, yo, we gotta figure it out. We gotta make some more fun music because you notice, when I report on certain things like when was the last big top #1 hip hop record? Usually, we are stand in that category.
Yeah.
We get some #1s, and it's not been much of that lately. And with the influx of new artists, with the influx of streaming services, streaming platforms. I think it's so saturated.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get a chance to get tired of you. I don't get a chance to fully grow with the artist as much anymore because somebody will drop something today and tomorrow is 20,000 new records that feel like this record.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the different things because organically we're not kind of aligned to fall in love with the music anymore because by the time you get ready to fall in love, it's a whole new, you know, it was how DJ would say A-B a record.
Yeah.
You play a record that's on the same tempo with the same vibe goes. It's so much. So you find yourself, it's microwave music right now. Come and go fast.
You know, I know that now black people travel a lot more. You know, we're a lot more global. We're using that passport. I mean, have you been to Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah? What part?
Calabar, Lagos, Ivory Coast, Ghana. I'm trying to go to Congo.
Yeah.
Trying to go.
That's what's up.
I'm trying to go. Johannesburg.
What was the first? What was touching the ground like for you your first time?
Keep your eye out for everything. Just
Lagos.
Place. Lagos was definitely like that. Like we touched down. Like I had some security guards, man. I don't know what tribe they from, and I don't want to offend nobody, but they had the longest arms I ever seen. So imagine a tall guy who doesn't have to bend over to scratch his knees. So I think they do some type of stretching ritual or something, because all of them had these suits on. I was like, are those really their arms? Because you know how the president had the Secret Service, and it looked like their arms in their pocket, but they got on trench coat, and they really holding a Mac 11 under there, and it just looked like they sitting there like, you know. So I was wondering, but for me, the first time I touched down in Lagos, it was a culture shock, especially when I got to my hotel room for the night.
Okay.
And I'm looking out the window, and I'm just looking at grids and grids, you know, the lights.
20 million plus people.
I'm like, look at all this, man. And I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. With them up. Then the grids of light start shutting down. Then it was just coming towards us. Then our hotel went black. Boom. Then the exit sign came on. Then it heard, lights came back on. And the guy in the hotel said, "Welcome to Africa." I was like, oh, hell, y'all do this every night? Yeah. So, it was definitely a culture shock for me, but I enjoy every moment of it. I saw a lot of people that looked like a lot of people that I know. Oh, man, they was walking up to me like King.
Yeah.
They pointed at my nose and King. I was like, oh, yeah.
You remember what hotel you stayed at in Lagos?
I don't.
Okay.
It was kind of like a boutique kind of hotel. Though.
Yeah, it was the Echo or something?
I don't remember, but it was nice.
Okay.
It was nice. It was nice.
You know, we like to break bread here, so we're going to get into that in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it comes to style, man, now, Jock, you change your hair up like a lot of people change clothes, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of different styles. People don't know your background as far as your family in the hair industry, right?
My father, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that?
Claudio St. James. You know, if you especially on the Eastern Seaboard, if you know, all up and down the East Coast and the South, if you've gotten your hair braided by African braider, 9 times out of 10, especially over the last 30 years, his product has touched your hair.
Okay.
Most people don't know that, but
what's the product?
It's called Claudio St. James. You got Mist and Gold, Sparkle, Emerald Sparkle, Caribbean Sparkle, Egyptian Sparkle. He's got the Ice, which is a mentholated antiseptic. It's so many products, you know, foam to wash your braids. Right now he has this jelly that's working. It's a duality to it because they use it to grip the hair to braid, but it also works as an amazing edge control. So this stuff is flying off the shelves
right now.
Yeah, so me and Pop's been talking. We talked for so long about, you know, rebranding and, you know, really pushing it to the forefront. And he doesn't ever oppose it, but something in me tells me that he enjoys it being his baby the way it is, and he doesn't want it to be too commercialized, I feel like. Not saying there's a pushback, but you know how you could kind of sense somebody's kind of like, well, you they comfortable in the space. And I don't want to be a pushover and be like, no, we're gonna do this. So I just kind of just sit back and just watch him be successful, and it's right.
So has that kind of spilled over for you in terms of your entrepreneurial?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, of course,
yeah,
of course, because you got to think, man. I used to dip incense.
Yeah.
I would grab them thing, stick it in the, bring it out. We used to dip the air fresheners.
This on the south side.
I used to be on the south side, west side, yeah. Just watching him like sit down with chemists, whether it's a Zoom call with chemists, and like, I want a product that does this. I don't want this in it. I can't use that, because if I use that, then I have to have a different facility. And I'm just watching him, and then you look up one day and he's got these samples, right? But then he's got the packaging for the samples. Then he's got the layout of the graphics and the arts and graphics for the packaging. And you watch it go from a thought, a concept, to an actual product. Yeah. So to watch someone manifest on so many levels consistently over 3 to 4 decades, if you don't pick up on some of that, if some of that doesn't rub off on you, then your sponge just doesn't work. And I can say that because there's no way you could have been around my dad the amount of times that I was around him and not pick up on some type of entrepreneurial essence. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't, your receptors just don't work. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I remember you telling me that, you were probably the first person I met when I got to the A. The night I got here, I came to the studio, and you were finishing up the album, and you were getting ready. And I just remember the energy in the city. Yeah. The single was on the air. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. And you showed me a lot of love, welcomed me with open arms. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And it started to give me a framework for Atlanta, right? And I remember us having some conversations and you talking about, the hair care industry and just your family and all of that. And so seeing you kind of like just grow and do all these different things, like, it's not really shocking, but I'm like, wow, you never know where it's gonna take you. Yeah. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, because I've told people that, they look at me like, what you mean? You're not surprised? It's not a bad thing to say I'm not surprised, because that means that something in me was aware. Something in me received that you were on your way, God willing. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. My journey, it's no different than most people's journeys. Ups and downs, trials and tribulations. You got some smooth roads, and you got some bumpy roads. Yeah. Then you come to a point where the road ends. Yeah. And you're gonna either go left, right, or you gotta take a flight to take your ass back home. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful for my journey, Osei. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 100. I'm grateful for that, because I watch so many people have conversations and be like, you good because you young Jock. And I be like, do you understand? Because I am who I am, sometimes in certain situations, I have to work double hard. I have to work double time on certain things, because I don't have a playbook. Nobody just came in when it was, all right, here's a book on how to succeed for the next 50 years. Other than somebody handing you a Bible saying, read this. Other than that, what book is somebody giving you that's going to really help you see your way through? It's about trial and error. Yeah. You got to get out here and live. If you don't try, you'll never get ahead. So, whew.
You've lived. You definitely lived.
Man, I done been through some things, brother.
What would you say, especially during that time, it felt like everything was getting ready to change for you? Like, I could feel that, and I sensed it, and then I go to the video shoot for it's going down. I remember the house, and I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? The way the city showed up for you, did you feel like you knew things were getting ready to shift? And, if so, what did that feel like?
To be honest, Osei, it's interesting, because by the time it was time to shoot the video, I was already hopping on and off flights and jets and going around because it was happening fast. The music was just like, oh, what is that? The song, is going down. I my voice was different. I had my own cadence. I had my own look. And I was coming from Atlanta, so I was coming I came out in the process of for the feel of the music at that time because we were going out of crunk.
That phase.
And we were heavily into the whole snap movement. Mm-hmm. So when I came out, I wasn't crunk and I wasn't snap. Although some of my songs had snap in them, I wasn't doing snap dances.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying myself. But brother, by the time it was time to shoot that video,
it was already out of here.
Yeah. The support was phenomenal. It was like you going up through there. So yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. What was that moment? Because I saw Tom Cruise hit it. I'm sure you've had a number of celebrities, they run into you, especially during that time. They were like, yo, it's young Jock. What was the one that surprised you?
I got 3 incidents. One being the Tom Cruise, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, boy, that's Tom Cruise. Boy, what the hell going on?
Yeah.
Right?
That was huge. I remember that
huge.
moment. I think Mission Impossible was getting ready to drop too or something.
No, it had dropped. That's why he was doing the promo run for the movie.
Yes.
And he was amongst us in the culture.
Yeah.
So, for them to do that, that was just like, yo, you won't, with our culture, you can't just come talk about it. You got to really show you embrace it. And he understood that. Come on, he's been around forever. And so once he started doing it, I was like, I get it. And I even learned a lot from that. I understood that sometimes you have to straddle whatever it is you're trying to intertwine, you know what I'm saying? But another one, I'm at Scott's Storage House, Miami, at his mansion. We kicking it. I never forget this. So I walk in, and it's Hulk Hogan there. Him and Brooke Hogan. Scott Storch was producing Brooke.
Yeah.
I think they might have, it was a lot. So I'm sitting there, and Hulk's like, hey, Jockster.
This Hulk Hogan talking to you.
What's up, brother? I'm like, boy, do you know at 5 and 6 years old, boy, you was on my underwear. Like, we had action figures of you. We was getting up on Saturday morning watching the wrestling cartoons and all that. I was just watching wrestling. I just was like, you know me. You know my name. And then Hulk says, yeah, remember, brother? I was just out there in Anaheim when you performed. You brought the house down, brother. Wow. And I'm sitting here like, we made it.
Yeah.
We made it. Hulk Hogan knows Jock. I'm the Jockster. You know what I'm saying? He was like, what's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? So that was an incident for me that really made me be like, you know what? You know what? I don't want to be a knucklehead in this space. I want to keep my image clean because you don't never know who's going to receive you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we do so many things prematurely or early on that work against us in the long run. It's like right now these kids that got Instagram, they don't understand. They're like, Then one day they wake up like, no, I need a real job. And then it's like now Instagram or your TikTok is used as a credit check type of device. It's like, oh well, let's go back and
let's take a look.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no, you throwing up? Is that a gang sign? Oh no.
Yeah,
we definitely can't. So it's early on we do stuff. And so I definitely was like, And that's why I kind of just kept my image really clean. And I think people were so confused and surprised at the same time when I got on TV. And it was like, oh, this boy funny as hell. Why we didn't know that? Because I was so like, yo, I'm going to be on time. I never miss shows. I didn't miss flights. So it was so many times I was getting to these concerts. And they like, yo, man, whoop-de-whoop, missed their flight. I'm like, how? Yeah. It's
And
too
Mr.
much
Money.
money. It's too much money to be playing with. So, yeah, my journey was different early on.
Yeah. Now you said you had one more incident after Hogan.
I'm in New York. I'm in LaGuardia.
Hmm.
This older white woman, pretty white woman, and she says, "Oh," she had been drinking and shit. I was drinking too. Did I cuss? Okay, you hear it. So we had some shots.
Yeah.
We're partaking in libations. Okay, and she said, "Oh, girl, come here." So I'm looking at her talk to this lady. She looking at me. She, like I'm not right there. Like I don't see her looking. She's like, "Come here." I know who that is. I was like, who the hell this lady think I? This lady think I'm Guy Torrey or Joe Torrey or one of them. I don't know who she think I am. One of the Wayans brothers. I don't know. She said, "Hey, it's my birthday. This is my best friend. We're traveling, but I know who you are. I got to call my husband to tell him that you're here with me. You're never gonna believe that a 60-year-old white woman knows who you are." And I'm looking at her like, oh, this is interesting. I got to know who she think I am. I know she's not gonna say Young Jock. She gets on the phone with her husband, bro. She's FaceTiming. She said, "Honey, you're never gonna believe who I'm standing here with." He was like, who you standing there with, babe? She was like, "Oh my God, I have seen him on," and when she said seen him on, I was like, yeah, she think I'm somebody. She wouldn't say see me on a movie, see me on the show. She said, "I have seen him on some things, and let me tell you, this guy, Young Jock," I was like, she was a 60-year-old white woman. At that time, I'm just 25 years old. Like, you know who I am? Yeah. And she started singing my lyrics. And her friend, who was a black woman, didn't know none of the lyrics, didn't know who the hell I was. And she was singing the part, and the lady was like, "Well, what does that mean?" And the lady started breaking it down for the black woman to tell her what I was saying. It was the first verse. Just bought a zone. Well, when I said, just bought a zone, J's on my feet, I'm on that Patron, so get like me. The lady was breaking it down to her. When she said, just bought a zone, she said, well, I'm assuming, I've heard it, a zone, which is, she said, it's an ounce of weed, right? I was like, oh, this lady know what's going on. Yeah. So that moment in time for me was like, yo, music really can penetrate and cross over so many boundaries. You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
And it's just, and that's when I was like, yo, I gotta really make sure I do any and everything that I have ever wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, man, I watch people talented, smart, deserving of, play themselves off the street, play themselves into an early grave, or just don't go hard at all for the things they envision. It's just kind of like, lackluster. I'm not really putting my best foot forward. I'm just going with the motion to say I tried. But sometimes I watch people just miss out on their dreams.
Wow.
Just by not being properly motivated. Sometimes your partner,
business partner.
Nah.
Your significant other.
It could be your significant other. It could be your life partner. It could be your parents. It could be your children. You know, I know so many people who put their dreams on the back burner for their children. Then you look up one day and here they are, was right there with me doing things, and that their children have gone on to live their life and ain't even look back. And the parents is like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm like, well, you had it figured out, but who am I to say? So I'm not passing judgment or anything. I'm just speaking on my own personal experiences, man, you know?
Yeah. You know, in terms of just your backstory and how Young Jock comes to be a global star, someone who's known for putting in, for doing what they're doing, but, you put in a lot of work before you got there. And, you talked about College Park specifically, you know what I'm saying, once you got on. So it was just like a different lift for the city. But, you had an opportunity to sign with JD, right? So Def or Diddy. You ended up, going that route with Bad Boy South, with Block. Why?
So at the time, my best friend misbehaving, I introduced her. I was just introducing other people, You know, at that point, I felt like I was gonna give up on the rap, and I was gonna I would afford somebody who I believed in. I would afford them whatever I had. I would give them whatever I had to help them pop. I was just gonna make sure they were the pivotal. I was gonna make sure they were the pivotal person in the situation, the pivotal variable. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I was working with Miss B, and I was just taking her around everywhere. And she had this song that we wrote called Bottle Action. And initially, Carolyn Miller, rest in peace. She took us over to see Ian Burke, and I had already met Nitty. I didn't really know Ian, but I had already met Nitty, and Ian and Nitty were sharing the space. And I think Ian Burke was managing Nitty. So we go into this meeting to do business with Ian. And I saw Nitty. I said, B, come in right quick. So I said, hey, bro, look, we don't want nothing from you. We just want you to listen to it. Tell us what you think. We gave him her record. He came back. Like, we would walk back in the office, and we sent out with Ian Burke, of ASCAP. Yeah. And Ian picks up the phone and says, oh, who's Jock? So everybody in the room like, so I'm like, what's up? He said, that's Nitty. He said he loves it. He wants to work with you guys. So everybody in the room like, whoa. It was like a real, like a Motown movie. It was like a movie moment. Like, it was that easy, you know. Yeah. But so we started rocking, and so she got her opportunity, and I had already had, and because I made that play, because Chino, my brother, introduced me to Nitty. Chino Dollar. So that's how me and Nitty got to rocking. That's how I was able to introduce Miss B to Nitty. So that started working, and Nitty was working with JD. So I saw a lot of the things that were happening at that moment in time. Some things I agreed with, some things I didn't agree with. And I was just like, So when we did the record is going down, Nitty already got a deal with JD. So in his mind, this is easy. I'm gonna walk it in. I produced the beat. Like, bro, you gonna sign to me? I'm gonna sign you to JD, and we're gonna take you and sign you somewhere else. So I was like, let's talk about this first, because I don't have to sign over there. But I myself was a fan of JD. It was just things that was happening that I had made comments about, and when I heard certain rebuttals about some of the things that I said and I really stood on that came back from Nitty, I was like, I don't think I want to go in that direction, especially not under your subsidiary. I didn't want to go in like that. And so I was just like, And then there was things that had happened. We had already paid Nitty $5,000 for the beat. He was upset because we didn't do the deal with him and JD. So then he came back to do a cease and desist on this going down. Right when we shoot the video, they're like, yo, Nitty just hit us with a cease and desist.
I remember something, it was on the radio.
I'm like, what? They were like, yeah, y'all ain't finna just go put my music in my song. I'm like, damn. But I understood he was hurt. He probably felt like this was gonna be one of the biggest deals of his career, and I understood that. But I had the rights. I had the right to do business wherever I chose to do business and what I felt would suit me better as an artist and as a businessman. I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I want to be in bed with you on the business side of things. You having something to do with the music, the production of what I'm doing, that's a different story. But you being able to be a shot caller on my business, and after I already saw how he was doing things with Miss B, I was like, nah, I don't think that's the look I want to go for. And so next thing you know, they was like, oh, he wants $60,000 for the beat. I was like, what? And he was able to get it because he had us by the kahunas, and that's just what it was. So it was kind of easy. My man Fresh from the South Side, he put me with Carl Mo. Carl Mo got all these big ass records with people, and Carl Mo said, man, you need to get with Block. Introduced me to Block. So while he introduced me to Block, we end up, me and Chino ended up linking up with Block. Took me to Diddy. I waited for a few minutes. Was waiting to see, perform for him. He was like, yeah. He came down to Atlanta, Outkast studio, because I was trying to sign with Outkast. Big didn't sign me. He like,
So you auditioned for Big too?
Man, I auditioned for so many people. I was with Polo the Dunn, Jazzy Faye, College Park. Because I'm going to all the producers like, look, y'all, here's something that, you know. They was like, it's cool. I was like, all right. I ain't let it deter me. I was like, it's going to go. And I remember walking in to Body Tap with Diddy. Me, Diddy, rest in peace, and Kim. And we walked in, and I saw Black on C-Bone, because C-Bone is the one who gave me my look with Big Boy. C-Bone looked up there and saw me and said, God, I told you, you done let Puff get him. This supposed to be us. Purple ribbon, da-da-da. And I remember going in there, and after that, we did the deal. And it was up quick. It wasn't like a development process, because I was already developed. I had already been working, honing my craft, you know, making sure that my rollout would be what it's supposed to be. So by the time Diddy was able to just get close enough to just be like, oh, you ready. It was up. It was just dope.
That's interesting. I mean, just to hear that story, what was it like at that time meeting Puff and all of that?
Man, it was crazy, because I'm like, yo, this Diddy. You know, I'm one of those cats that in my lifetime, I've been able to sit back and watch things. And if it's something that really moves me, moves my spirit, I'm able to manifest it. So I remember watching Making the Band, and I'm like, nah, no way. I would never have said nothing like that. I would do this. I'd have been hustling. I would have when it came in. And I was just watching this, even though it was a production, because I don't know how much of it was real, how much of it was fake, but it moved me enough to say if I ever got in front of Diddy, I'm going to do it a certain way. Matter of fact, you see this plate right here? Yo, I'm sitting in the studio like, damn, I'm meeting Diddy for the first time. Like, yo, I'm in New York. I'm at Daddy's house. Like, so he like, yeah, so shit, young Jock gonna perform is going down for me. So I'm like, you talking to third person? Like, I'm right here. Like, hey, you want me to perform? He like, yeah, Playboy, I want you to perform. I'm like, so I started talking like him. I said, man, Diddy want the boy Jock to perform. All right. So they bring in a roller, put his thing down. I think he had like some chicken cacciatore or chicken Alfredo. And so the music started, and it's just me and him and Blockson over there. And I'm like, he goes to prepping himself and he cutting his chicken, he eating it. I'm standing here like, niggas him a fade, down every day, asking me a question. He like, So I'm like, oh, he think he finna hold me?
He gave you the uninterest.
Man, I wanted to make sure I left him with something to remember. I jumped up on the thing, the counter where his food was at. I kicked the plate.
Did you hit him with the plate?
I kicked the plate enough to let him know, but this ain't that moment, because you finna lose out. And that was probably the most arrogant, cocky, ambitious thing I ever did as a person, because I know that could have stopped everything. But the one thing I knew from marketing and doing door-to-door marketing, because I'm a salesman at heart, it's a thing called indifferencing. And indifferencing works hand in hand with laws of averages. Laws of averages say 1 out of 10 will say yes, right? So you indifference people, not begging them for their money or their attention. You want to hurry up and get to the no so you could get to your yes with the laws of averages. So the quicker I make him say no, I can be like, hey, cool, you out the door, I'm going to the next situation. So I was like, because if you're not really trying to get me to where I'm going, you're going to sit here and play with me like I ain't shit, then it's time for me to get my no. So if this going to make you say no faster, boom, I kicked it. He looked at me, just bought a zone, J's on my feet, I'm on that Patron, so get like me. Now I'm on the thing rapping, and he look at me, now I got his attention. And he's sitting back like, because this is the same cat who's got that ambitious drive. This is the same cat who's going to come in here and do some unorthodox thing that's going to make you remember when he walks out of the room, like, did y'all hear what he said? Did y'all see what he did? And so that was that moment where I took that chance and I kicked that plate.
How was Block looking when you did that?
Block said, what, I thought it was throw us out the goddamn studio, boy. I said, what? You know, Block talk.
Yeah.
Block say, man, Jesus Christ, I hope that don't backfire. I said, but you got his attention, little bro. But boy, I hope. He was sweating. I wasn't sweating. I ain't give a damn at that point. I was like, shit, if you got me in front of Puff performing this song and I'm watching people, somebody gonna bite. And even if it ain't him, this song's so hard and the music I got to come right behind it, we're gonna get the deal that we want. Yeah. So I wouldn't even, that was one of that moment was pivotal for me.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about other people. I learned a lot about commanding a room, how to shift the interest of the room, because a lot of times that's a part of being an entertainer. I got to keep you entertained. And when you're not entertained with this, I got to be able to switch to the next mode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a pivotal experience for you to share with anybody on the come up, right? Because a lot of people are going to be intimidated and scared. And we're going to come back to that in a minute. I want to make sure while this food is hot, one of the things we like to do here is break bread with friends and family that come through the Culture Club. So I'll let you take this top off, Jock.
Whoa.
And see what we got for you.
Pause.
Huh? Well, yeah, pause. We want to be careful.
We grown.
We're careful.
Hey, man, we grown and mature. It was just funny.
Yeah, man. Listen, see what's on this plate. It might remind you some things. You said you done been to the continent, and I want to get your impression. Shout out to Nouveau Maquis. It's on Memorial Drive. You know what I mean? I think you'll appreciate it, but please, brother.
Let's see what we got here.
You know, truth and taste, man. We want to make sure.
Let's see, this is a plate.
While you doing that now, is it true that your dream career was to play basketball?
Not at all.
Not at all. That's folklore. What you know about this, Jock? Let's make sure the camera can see.
What is this?
You said you've been to Nigeria. You've been to Ghana.
Is that fufu?
Come on, Jock. Talk about it. If you're gonna talk about it, then talk about it like you know, man.
You know, so
what else do you see?
Of course I see plantain. I don't know what this is. I can't really.
I think
it looked like it could be lamb, could be oxtail. But
actually, I think the lamb is here. That's peanut soup. I think that's chicken gizzards.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this?
Yeah, fufu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what y'all want me to eat this right now?
Yeah, try it. We need you to try it out. Tell us what you think, because it's about culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, are you unless you scared.
It ain't that I'm scared. It's just I would probably need some hand sanitizer, maybe. I can get into it.
Okay.
And then, you know, just you know.
Yeah.
You know, to today's society, we are so critical. Somebody will be like, wow, he's been sitting there this whole time, scratching his head, digging in his eyes, just went his ear. He just went right in with the little dirty little fingers into the food.
The hand sanitizer.
Let them see me putting it
on.
We ain't stopping all that.
What growing up? What's your dish? Go to dish in Atlanta.
Struggle years, struggle phase,
I want to hear all of it. Yeah. When the money hit, when the check cleared, I want to hear what the struggle meal was like, and then tell us about when that check cleared.
So here's what's funny. I used to love my mom made these chicken and dumplings. Rest in peace to my mom. She used to make chicken and dumplings, right? And I used to think it was so good. My grandma would make the meal for Friday was whiting.
Gotta love some
white rice, hella butter.
Fried?
What, fried white? Yeah, fried whiting, yellow rice. My grandmother would make some homemade biscuits, grape jelly, hot sauce, mustard.
Yeah.
Tea.
Yeah.
Lemonade.
Cook with love.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I was trying to get on, I should say. And me and my wife at the time, we was going through it, man. We was trying to get some money, TANF. We was trying to get any assistance we could get, food stamps, and I'll never forget. She said, "Baby, you ain't gonna believe this." I said, "What?" They done gave us some food stamps. I was like, I wasn't like, yes. I was more like, damn, I'm on food stamps. But I needed it at that moment because I didn't want to go to jail. I didn't want no issues. I wasn't trying to be out here in the streets doing too much because I was. And I was just like, I'm just trying to lay low because at this point, I want more for my life, my family. And we went to the store. Boy, I bought some lamb chops. I had never cooked lamb chops. I ended up creating this soup I call dirty soup. This was my pre-balling. This is before I got on. It's my struggle meal. I would take clam chowder. I would go get the crawfish tails already peeled, put them over in there, add some more baby clam, right? Add a little Parmesan cheese, put that in the bread bowl, aside with some lamb chops. You can make this soup in like 15 minutes. I'm telling you, it's the best thing going. If you ever tasted it, once you taste it, people gonna ask for the
recipe.
Yes, and it becomes their family's own recipe. You know, people put their twist on it. But that meal to this day, people in my family ask me to prepare that and bring it. So yeah, you know, that's my own little meal like that. And I call it dirty soup because what's interesting, it kind of starts looking this color because of the crawfish tails. You know, they be red. So once you put those into a clam chowder, which is normally off
white
cream, you know, once you add it, it gives it that red tint. So that's why I started calling it dirty soup.
That's what's up. So when the check cleared, what restaurant did you go to, or were you at that is memorable?
You know, I never had that moment. Like I can't. I don't recall no moment like that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
It's like I was around the world. I moved from continent to continent, country to country, city to city, state to state. So it wasn't about I'm going out and I'm spending the big money. Hell, everywhere I was going, I was being celebrated.
Yeah.
And that really that gave me a different understanding of what a celebrity was and how did we come to the word celebrity? Because it's the person being celebrated. And I think most people don't even put those two together to think of it like that. And so yeah, I mean, but y'all was all over, man. I was
Memories. You made a lot of memories, brother.
Yeah.
So, you know, peanut soup is a staple in West Africa.
Yeah.
Like I said, chicken gizzards, plantain.
You gonna eat some too?
Well, no, actually, I don't eat meat anymore, bro.
Oh, okay.
You know?
You gonna sit in front of me though?
I mean, listen, I'm here to make sure your passport.
I thought we finna
like food.
Listen, you know it's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
You know,
if you ain't never sat down
communal
with the family on some communal type.
Yeah,
you'll be
everybody share.
Yo, boy, people be putting their hand in the plate. You be like, hold up,
yeah.
So yeah,
you know they say, hey, don't use your left hand, just use your right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But Jock, you done did this before. You must have did this when you was over there in Lagos or when you went to Ghana.
Yeah, Calabar was crazy.
Okay. Jock, like I'm gonna get it all, man.
Yeah, well,
Some seasoning.
Oh, it's busting.
You like that? Shout out Fabiola, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Everybody around the room like, oh my God, he's eating that shit. Like, he's really eating it. Who thought that he was gonna come here and eat with his hands?
Yeah.
On camera.
You did it like it's supposed to get done now. You know, real traditional with it. So you done been around.
Yeah.
I know. You know.
It's good.
All right, we'll make sure.
I don't want to rush
you
the
got
interview.
That take that.
I don't want to rush the interview to get to it, but that is good.
What's your favorite meal now?
Believe it or not, man, I love char grilled oysters.
Okay.
I love char grilled oysters, man. CNS probably got some of the best char grilled oysters I've had. Yeah.
CNS, I've been there.
I love char grilled oysters. I love sea bass.
Okay.
I love sea bass.
Okay.
And I also, Chilean sea bass anyway. Yeah. And I love smoked crab legs. It's a thing.
Okay.
Spot called Bunton put me on to them. I tasted that for the first time. I said, I've never tasted anything taste as good. To the point, It helped me make a lot of money in my restaurant. I took the recipe or what I thought what I was tasting. I introduced that to the city.
Yeah.
On the south side, in the hood.
Yeah.
Boy,
It went up.
Boy, it was like I had a trap. It was like I had that blue magic, boy. Yeah, for real. For real.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So you talked to us about what you kind of grew up on the struggle side. Who cooks at home now? You or your wife?
Lately, my wife has been cooking. She's been on her health trip, so she been cooking, man. I've never seen her cook this much in my life. I'm almost like,
okay,
they cloned Tyrone. Like, girl, what the? But she's lost a lot of weight. She's gotten really fit in the gym. And here I am. I've been dealing with so much. I haven't gone to the gym as much, but I've still been eating clean with her. But she been cooking these meals, man. They super healthy. So
yeah.
But she from the country and she can really cook now. Girl got a heavy hand. You heard me say girl. Girl got a heavy hand. So yeah, she cook at the house. You know what I mean? I cook, but I cook too big.
Now, what does that mean?
I don't know how to cook for two people. I don't know how to cook for two people. Because I just feel like by the time I put that work in, that time, that effort, if I'm prepping, cleaning, cooking, chefing, it need to be enough for everybody to taste this.
So you invite the family?
I do. And so it drives her nuts.
Okay.
It drives her nuts because she's more of a...
Yeah. Low key with it.
I'm outgoing, you know, hey, let's, you know, so.
Is it ever hard to get people to leave when they come over?
Nah.
They know when it's time.
It's just, because I live so far out, that by the time you come to my house, if you come to one of our parties, it's up.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I got people that's mad at me. Like, my dad was upset with me because Thanksgiving, right? So we had Hammer and Nails come to the house. Hammer and Nails is a men's...
In Midtown.
Right here in Midtown. Okay. That's who we had, Hammer and Nails, Midtown. They came to the house to, you know, pamper, I guess, my family, friends. Then I forget the name of the massage company. This young lady came out. She brought a bus out, and she had people in the house. Amazing. We had the sip and paint for the adults and the kids. We also had a magician.
Okay.
Then we also had chefs preparing the food. We had bartenders, you know, the hookah girls. When everybody got downstairs and the kids were upstairs, had security up there and some chaperones to make sure the kids don't come downstairs. Then I brought out some adult entertainment. So they thinking they were getting dessert. My guests like, oh, we getting dessert? Oh, yeah. So they bring out these trays. They're like, well, I know it's going to be something good. I know it's something sweet. I know. Then when they took the top off, it was money, 100 packs. And they was like, what? And the dancers came out. So some of my people were like, oh my God, why would you do this in your home? I'm like, they just dancers. I mean.
What, your father was there?
Nah, he heard about it.
What did he say?
My brother went back to, oh, that ain't, oh, I don't know what's gotten into him. That ain't what's up. Them kids could have came down there and saw that. You know, I'm like, man, they are off. They are upstairs. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. They good. So, you know, by the time you get hit with all that, shit, you like, man, I'm going to the house, man. They gave us money.
Yeah.
We done been pampered.
Yeah.
We done been fed.
Wow.
We done seen magic.
Literally.
We done painted. It's time to go. What else you want? So, you know, I just make sure I like to just put out for my family.
Yeah.
People I love and care about.
That's real, man. And speaking of parties, I know you done been to some epic parties.
Yeah.
Now, this whole thing with Diddy, man, when you think about that, you know, have you been to a Diddy party?
Yes.
On that level? What's it like for those that don't know? Because I know he throws some epic parties both in the club and outside of the club.
You know, it's so crazy, man. You know, I'm hearing so many things about Diddy, and I'm almost like, where I was at? Because I mean, I didn't witness this stuff. And I have to be honest about that. I never witnessed him do anything that made me be like, oh, hold up. Not ever. Not you talking about a whole run with this man. But I also don't want to negate the fact that to the people who have come out as victims, I don't want to negate their allegations because I'm not God. I wasn't there. You know, I didn't do a polygraph test on nobody. So I don't know who's telling the truth, who's lying. But in my experiences with Diddy, I never saw anything like that. And, you know, and again, I was around him and Cassie. I just because you don't see it,
never felt that energy.
Just because you don't see it does not mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So it was interesting when they led with the whole story of me talking about him telling her he wanted to shave the side of her head, and I just didn't think that was right. That they used that clip of what I was talking about to try to insinuate that he was like overly controlling or, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is a mogul who sees things and understands how to manifest and bring things into fruition. He watched this woman with this hair, and he came and told his lady, hey, baby, yo, I want you to do X, Y, Z. And she was like, I'm looking at her like, you gonna do that? Because I just couldn't see it. But then when I looked, I was like, oh, well, she's beautiful enough to pull it out. So when she hit me with the picture 2 days later, I was like, oh, shit, she did it. And it worked. And when she did it, so many women followed that trend. So I never told that story to support the narrative that he was doing things to her. You kind of get what I'm saying? So I still, to this day, I didn't understand why they used that to lead with it. So I haven't even spoken with Diddy since any of this. So who knows? He could probably hate me. He could feel like, yo, why you was out here putting it out here like that? And that was never the case. Yeah. So I've been to parties. I've been to parties in Vegas with him. I mean, everything was cool. But, you know, I never been to the parties that these other people talk about. Just being straight up, I didn't even know they existed. You know, you hear people tell tales, but hell, I done threw parties and people like, boy, I heard y'all. Boy, ooh, I heard y'all. What you heard? Boy, they say that thing was crazy. Well, what made it crazy? Other than you giving me it was crazy, that thing was lit. They say, boy, it was up through there. But what did you hear? Did somebody do something that stood out so much that you can't believe you missed this party because one guy had 10 girls by it? So like, what did you hear? So, you know, when I hear these stories, I'm just like, whoa. And, you know, it starts to make me think like somewhere in there, when it comes to our culture, man, some of our, let me word this right, man. I just feel like some of the staples in our community, some of these leaders, some of these people who have fought, you know, countless hours, countless fights to see certain things happen for us. When I see them get their legs taken from under them, you know, I don't just be like, yeah, you did the right thing. Because then I start asking, was there another narrative there? Because a lot of our gatekeepers, the gatekeepers with notoriety, the gatekeepers with status, the gatekeepers with influence, the gatekeepers with the money, the power, the respect, all the things that could be used to change certain narratives, all the things that could be used to make a better way or stand in that doorway and keep their foot in that door so other people that look like you and I can walk through that door successfully without all the challenges and hurdles that they had to succumb to be in the position they're in. So I question certain things, and I'm not saying that, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, somebody's trying to take Diddy out, but I was around for a long time, bro.
You know, I remember an incident.
And I didn't see a lot of things like that. Yeah. That don't mean it didn't happen, but I just, you know.
You didn't see that. You know, we went to D.C. one year with you for Howard Homecoming, and I think you were moving around.
Lit.
Yeah. And you was in the Rolls Royce, and I think you ran into Diddy. You know what I mean? And he just, it seemed like he just.
I was with my African partner, Ola.
Ola. Shout out to Ola. Yeah.
It was in the Rolls Royce. Yeah.
And I mean, it seemed like you doing your thing. You seemingly are in his city, in D.C., because he went to Howard.
Yeah.
And, you were just moving around. What did he say to you that night?
Whenever me and Diddy talked, man, he always just gave me he just always talked to me like a big brother, man. It was never like, it was always just uplifting. It was always positive. It was always, yo, boy, playboy, look, I'm telling you, yo, all you gotta do is whoop, whoop, and you whoop. It was always like, stay on your grind. Don't come off the gas. No brakes. Keep going. And so, when I see all these different things happening to him and the way it's matriculated down to, like, I don't think we've ever been in this space where you could just look at a Diddy and I'm watching people like, oh, and I'm like, damn, this is Diddy. But with these allegations, I always thought it was innocent till proven guilty. And clearly that's not the case now, because if someone comes out and says something about you and they can present what we could assume to be damning evidence, we just kind of go with the notion and the whole concept that, it must be true. My man settled out. That's the quickest settlement. Well, they had to, in a sense, because she didn't just sue him. She sued these companies who had these insurances for rainy days as such. So was it out of his control that this claim, the suit, got handled right away? It might not even been in his control. He could have been like, yo, hold up, no, hold up. They're like, sir, Mr. Combs, listen, with all due respect, here's what we have come up with. Here's the criteria that says that if we do this and get ahead of this speeding train, we won't have a derailment, okay? Oh, all right. They reach a settlement in Cassie and Diddy's lawsuit. And we like, oh, snap. He must have did it. Or not just must have did it. There must be truth to what she's saying in some of the things that she's alleged he's done to her. You start feeling that way. Like, it's so interesting because there's certain tactics and protocols that are in place when you start talking PR and PR crisis. Right now, you get a mixed signal. Man, Osei slapped me. Breaking news, Osei The Dark Secret allegedly slapped the shit out of young Jock. Osei don't say nothing. Bro, you ain't gonna say nothing? I ain't giving it no life. Somebody like, yeah, he guilty. He ain't even saying that. Somebody else saying, I don't believe he did it because he ain't even saying that. He ain't even giving it no life. But then you come out and say something. He guilty, he talking about it. Or somebody else say, nah, I don't think he did it because he defended himself. So if you really think about just the way I just gave you the different scenarios on either end, we don't really have what is the protocol? How do you handle certain things? Because you're supposed to be innocent until you're proven guilty. And with the way social media works, the news, everything is so sensationalized and it's so much extra propaganda that's naturally there because the viral payload of it all, how big it is, how fast it happens, and everybody's talking about it at the same time because it's happening right now and everybody's aware of it right now. You don't really know how you're supposed to handle certain things.
Speaking of handling things, I've seen you handle some seemingly uncomfortable things, even with your wife, right? I guess the conversation was about perhaps your daughters dating someone like you, right? And you were really tactful in terms of how you spoke on it, right? How did that make you feel in that moment?
Well, naturally, they say all a man really has is his word, and your name. So in this day and age, when you ask when you talk about power or your reputation, That's this thing called a credit score, right? So let's not get into the concept of the credit score, your FICA. We're going to talk about your face card, the credit score of your face card. Now, I understood what my wife was saying to me. She was just saying, you've done some things in your life that even you wish that you could go back and undo. Or maybe if you could go back, you wouldn't have done it. Maybe the way I treated some women, I don't think I was a bad guy, but being immature, being not easily influenced, but easily influenced by lifestyle, by the culture. We watch movies. Let's be for real. Men are taught quantity. Women are taught quality. That's why a woman will go and say, oh, I don't mind spending $30,000 for a bag. She might not even have $30,000 to put in the bag, but she's been taught that bag is quality. If you give you $1 million and give your lady $1 million, y'all gonna buy things differently, okay? She may get her one car, okay? It's gonna be the one she wants. You're gonna go get an SUV, you might get a pickup, you might get a motorcycle, you might get a two-door, you might get a sedan. And then when you get these things, you might even wanna go in and embellish them. You might wanna change the paint, you might wanna put a wrap on it, you might wanna change the headlights out, you might wanna put sound on it, in it, rims and tires on it. And so what happens is, men, here we go. You ready? You give her a Barbie doll. She gets a Barbie doll, right? What does she get with her Barbie doll? A Barbie house. A Barbie car. Maybe even a Barbie boyfriend, kid. You don't get that. You get 2 or 3 action figures. You get a bag of the little toy soldiers to play with. You get some skates, a skateboard, a bike. You get a video game. You get a slingshot or a Red Ryder BB gun. You kind of get what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yeah.
A woman goes and buy a bra. A bra. You don't go buy a wife beater. A t-shirt, you buy a pack of wife beaters. A pack of underwear. She may buy a pair, one panty. This is the one I want. You may not do that unless you got to go high end and get some designer where it comes with one. Versace, where you're going to pay $85, $75 for one underwear. So to get back to where I'm going is, I think that sometimes in my time of past transgressions, I may have been looked at, or my actions may have said that I was somewhat of a womanizer, okay? And I understand. So when she told me, I don't want your sons to be like you, I really would have appreciated had she put it more in the context of that. Because that actually was a conversation that you have privately. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like if we was, let's say you talking to your wife, and your wife was a hoe once upon a time. But she changed. And you respect her for that, and you love her. But she was a hoe once upon a time. And she got kids. And you come out in front of the world and say, well, I pray your daughters don't be a hoe like you was at their age when you was the age when you was hoeing. That's not a conversation you say in front of the world. That's not, that's a conversation you have, well, baby, I really appreciate you finding yourself, finding your purpose, being purpose-driven, changing your life and being a better person. You say that to them. You don't say, well, I hope your daughters don't be a hoe like you was. I pray they don't be like you. Mm. And you say that in front of the world because then it sounds like there's some resentment there. It sounds like you resent the fact that you married to a once upon a time hoe. So that's how it came off when we had that moment. And I had to remain tactful because I understand my wife as a friend, as a confidant, as a significant other, as a husband. I understood that. So that's why I was able to keep a grasp on my temperament. I was able to keep a hold on my tone in delivering what I had to say. No matter if it hurt or it would kind of spike her a little bit, I had to keep that under control. You know what I'm saying? And I felt some kind of way, but I love her for who she is. I love her for her honesty. And I love her for her true will to see me be a better person. And so because I understood that about her, I'm able to walk away like, baby, you know, we just got to work on it. We can't, you know, we got to pick and choose our battles because this conversation that we didn't even have to go there. And now you got me looking like I'm checking you in front of the world, which is okay if it's done tactfully, respectfully, but we shouldn't have to do that in front of the world. We will not film in Love and Hip Hop where people expect to see certain stuff. We're having a regular interview, and it just went left for a moment.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
real. That's maturity, though.
Yeah,
I think I've heard or read some things where, you know, you're very open.
Yeah.
Right. You know, in public, and I know this is your second marriage.
Yeah.
What is different in this marriage versus, say, your first one at this point?
There's a checklist there. Yeah. First marriage, there was no checklist, meaning there was no credit report. You couldn't pull my credit in the first marriage to say how well I did in my previous marriage because there had not been a previous marriage. You kind of get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So coming into this second marriage, there is a credit report. There are questions when we were vetting each other, and there were a lot of questions pertaining to my marriage. What happened? How did y'all fall out of love? Why did y'all go y'all separate ways? Because here's a very interesting thing. My ex-wife and I could probably tell you how many times we argued in our marriage. And sometimes when I think about that, my level of maturity makes me sit back and recollect. And I start asking myself, was it that bad? Because it really wasn't. We didn't have a lot of conflict. I just think over time we grew apart. Just like, all right.
It happened.
I want something else. You might want something else. That's what happened. So the difference now is I know what it feels like to be divorced, to go through that process. I know what it feels like to sit up late nights not being able to sleep because you're thinking your whole family is about to be just the unit itself about to be destroyed, you know? So also I know hella do's and don'ts from my first marriage that I know is certain things that, you know, it's like right now, my wife get pissed off. She got mad at me the other day. We in Spun it was a true story. And I'm dealing with something, okay? One of my childhood friends, right? Just something happens. He's in the hospital. They saying seizure. Sound like overdose to me. I'm not putting it out there that that's what it was. I'm just saying what it sounded like. So that gave me like a sense of, damn, that he woke up out of a coma in 3 days. Told me I'm late for work. The doctor's like, yo, we never seen anybody wake up out of a coma like this. This is crazy. It's a phenomenon, right? Then at the same time, the day he wake up out of the coma, another friend of mine or an associate who was hanging with a friend of mine would die that night. My childhood best friend came out of his coma. And he was just with me for my birthday. He escorted me in. They had all these slingshots that escorted me to the city hall for my birthday. He died on a slingshot. So that was a lot to deal with, right? I walk into the restaurant, I see an old friend. My wife is kind of like, we done had a long day, it's raining outside. I'm like, baby, you wanna eat? We was doing extra stuff, so she been working since this morning. I've been working since this morning. It's 9 o'clock at night now. She tired, I'm tired, but we hungry. So I see an old friend. So she's like, where we going? The old friend said, hey, y'all. I'm like, what's up? So she like.
The old friend is a
female. Oh, she's a female, a woman. Okay. She's a woman. Mm-hmm. And she said, so y'all just gonna act like y'all don't know each other? And okay. So I was like, I spoke. You don't want to speak. She was like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's fine. So I'm like, so I'm feeling some kind of way. So the lady walks up, she said, you know what? I'm gonna push y'all over here to private area. I said, cool. I walk in, this young lady said, Jock. I'm looking like, oh, who is this? She said, you don't remember me? I'm like, She said, you sure you don't remember me? My wife head went around like, who? I'm like, who are you? She said, Larry, Mary, Chris, Kim. So she said that. I'm like, oh, you talking my childhood best friend, Larry, Steve, but I don't know who you are. She said, oh, I'm his brother, Chris's wife. I said, oh, okay. Hey, man, how's everybody doing? She goes, yeah, you know, Chris is in law enforcement now. And by the way, they found the killer to Steve after 20 years. So I'm hearing some crazy, so everything that's happening at one time. So she telling me, I'm like, well, how? So I sit down at the table and I'm frustrated. I'm going through something. So to bring it back in, she's sitting there, it turns into a situation, we get into it. I don't even know how we got into it. I say, you know what? I'll be back. Ordered the food, I walked out, went to the store. Ask me what I got from the store.
What?
Nothing. I just needed
a walk.
I needed a walk, but I drove. Yeah. I pulled back up, I pulled in the front, in the other parking lot, and I sat down. She said, well, you could leave our Uber. I said, no way I would leave you. I said, I'll leave you the car, not Uber. And I said, but then there's no way I'm supposed to leave my wife because we have a misunderstanding out here outside. Even though we both may come off safe, but if anything happened, I never get over this. So that in itself brought me back, it zeroed back out. I had to ask what I'm going through and how am I going to deal with this in the most effective manner I can without it causing more conflict. We got in the car, we didn't say anything all the way to the house. We got to the house, we hopped in the shower. That water broke the silence. That intimate moment broke the silence. And from that moment on, you couldn't tell we had any issues this whole night. Because it got bad. Like, it was like about to be a real argument, and we don't do that. So I just think sometimes, man, when you find yourself in these spaces with your person that you love, you say you love, you got to really go back and channel that moment to ask yourself, how did you even end up here? Why were you willing to commit? Why are you committed? Why is she committed? What was the great part of this bond, this divine union? Why are we here? And you got to figure that shit out and get back to that space. So that moment, you don't have to question anything else that you're feeling. You got to zone back out. You know, it's just like if you was in the military and you out here and you scared, you hear bullets going over your head and you like, why am I here? To protect my country. I'm fighting for freedom. I'm a patriot. And when you go back to that, you say, I don't know how this gonna end, but I got a mission. And you gotta fulfill that mission. So that's how that's how I be thinking.
You got through it.
Got through it.
Let me ask you this real quick, because obviously...
Sorry for being long-winded, man, but when I be getting into the moments, I have to get that point out.
It's understandable.
Take a little longer sometimes. You feel me?
Sometimes, I mean, in addressing maybe even the insecurities that come with being with somebody like yourself, with a lot of profile, what is it like? You know, I've seen y'all talk about infidelity and cheating. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What's that like for you as a man? Of course, men oftentimes are accused of it, but I know that you may have dealt with it with your wife and, you know, you got through it. You know what I'm saying? What's that like? Because most brothers don't really talk about that.
Well, because it's already so heavily, it's like we're blanketed with this whole concept, you're a dog. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, being a celebrity, especially if you're a likable celebrity, as a man, it's the same, it's equivalent to being a beautiful woman. Because every time she steps out the house, somebody's saying, hey, can I do something for you? Can I take you out? Can I get with you? Can I give you the best love you ever had? Can I take you around the world? Can I change your life, your mama them life? They go through that. So as a celebrity, as a male celebrity, when you step out and people see like you having, you look like you successful, people might not even really want you. They just may be in the mood to flirt with the idea of experiencing your lifestyle. So it's hard sometimes. Pause. You go to city, right? Now imagine in some of these cities, the minute you get on stage, that front row is some of the most beautiful women you've ever seen from that city that are there. They don't necessarily got to be trying to get with you, but they are there, and they look adorable, and they appear to be available, if you please, if you choose. You kind of get what I'm saying? That's hard. You get in the club, Oh, what's up? Hey, y'all, what y'all doing? Y'all, well, I don't need nothing. Can I buy you a bottle? Oh, okay, you ballin'. I mean, I do okay, but matter of fact, I'm sending you and your boys 2 bottles. Oh, damn. She trying to get up. Just that fast. Now, you got your homies around you. They're living vicariously through you, but they make it even harder because the homie might not be able to get the baddest one out the bunch, but he know if he could get the baddest one out the bunch right into your vicinity, get it close to you, then the other friends that's with her, they follow and they can get I don't want to say the leftovers, but what's left after you choose. If you choose to choose. You see what I'm saying? So it gets crazy. Sometimes you can be chilling. I'm at the gas station the other day, true story. This woman was fine as hell. I'm a man, I see it, I'm human. Just because I'm married and I have a beautiful wife, don't mean I don't see that this woman is beautiful. I just cannot indulge. Don't put yourself in a position to where you indulge, right? And she said, so you mean to tell me you gonna sit right there and you not gonna help me pump my gas? I said, so you mean to tell me you gonna watch me sit right here and not help you pump your gas and you know I'm married, so you know you shouldn't be saying that to me? She started laughing. She said, oh, you so silly. Can I talk to you for a minute? I said, I don't want no smoke. I just, even though I could be like, no, I don't like being like that. Because I don't feel like I got to be like that. I just like, I don't want no smoke, please. And she laughed. And she said, I respect that. She said, I like Kendra. I ain't going to do that. And you know I got a wife. You know her name.
She knew everything.
And you willing to play. So I know you'll cross me. You'll double cross me and triple cross me. So I ain't even finna give you the opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I just, even more so now, just having any kind of situation. I could be sitting right here. I was with my daughter today. My daughter put on certain stuff. I see women all the time. Like, that's my daughter. I be with my sisters. A homie will walk over and be like, wow, that thing look like, I know you be having fun with that. I'm like, it's my sister, bro. Oh. They just assume you cheating. So with that being said, I gotta make sure I'm not in no close quarters with nobody. Especially if she attractive, they just automatically give me credit for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, if you're a thug and I walk into the room and I see drugs and guns, I'm gonna assume they're yours. So if you're a player and I walk into the room and I see women, I'm gonna assume they're yours. So I try to stay clear of it. I have to.
Well, you cleared the air. That's a segment that we had. You cleared the air down, Jock.
It get heavy, dog.
It does. I can imagine that. I want to ask you this. I know they're giving me this the signals.
I know.
And it's good. You know what I mean? We are getting to.
You can't get it all out in one session, brother.
No, we gonna need to do this.
That's just like therapy. You don't get one session. It be multiple 6-7 months.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about the Katt Williams story. I heard about that. You know what I mean? And are y'all cool now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? It was just what it was, man. I'm a Katt Williams fan. I never forget I was in St. Louis. And I was bored, man. They was trying to get me to come to some party. I was like, man, they ain't paying me. I don't want to go. I had so much money, cash on me, that I was like, I'm not leaving this cash in this room.
Especially in St. Louis.
And I'm not taking this cash out this room. So I didn't want to go nowhere. I'm like, man, I got like $300,000 cash. I'm like, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. It was just like two promoters kind of.
It worked.
It was just like, oh, you bringing me a deposit. He bringing me a deposit. I got money because I done traveled for the last week. I need to get to a bank. You know what I'm saying? So I was just sitting there in the hotel room, and I was like, damn. I was so bored. I just was like, yo, Katt Williams, German Shepherd, done hit the last line of cocaine. I've never done cocaine in my life. I've never seen Katt Williams do cocaine. Rest in peace to DMX, respectfully. I've never seen DMX do cocaine, but respectfully, we know that brother lived his life, okay? So when I said the dog hit the last line of cocaine, that was bad on my part because that made it seem as if people in the room were doing cocaine. I'm just telling the joke, really. I say the dog that hit the last line of cocaine, he looked at me. I looked back at him. The dog was like, come on. I said, please don't do it. The dog bit me in the ass. Now I just got 100 and some stitches. I never had no stitches. I never got bit in the ass. was never a dog, and there was no cocaine. DMX had just come home. I was trying to get it was really Twitter, not Instagram. It was Twitter, and I was trying to get my followers up. And when I did that, I got like 100,000 followers in like 6 hours. So I was like, oh, snap. And I left it at that. I was like, I don't want to tell them hotels because I don't know if this get back to them. So when Katt saw me, you know, it basically was like, look, man, I ain't been with you. I don't be with you. DMX just came home. You playing with his name. My dog don't do no cocaine. You know, and I can impersonate him, but I'm gonna leave it. And I was just like, you know what, you're right. And he was just basically like, now, if you tell me that you just did it for shits and giggles, then I'm fine with that. But if you tell me you was doing it to tarnish my name or my man's DMX name, so like, cause you could get him in some trouble. He said, then we got an issue. I said, to be honest with you, man, I wasn't even thinking. I didn't even think that shit was gonna blow up like that. I was just having fun trying to see how to work Twitter, because I was new to Twitter. And he was like, all right, cool. We're gonna go back upstairs. We went back upstairs. My homegirl Portia was like her and 10 of her girlfriends. Yo, he had bought the whole top floor of the hotel. We went back up there, man. We had more drinks, and he pulled out a iMac computer, and he played a bunch of his music. I didn't even know he rapped. And we was with him for like another 2 hours.
Kicking it.
And that was it. And then once we finished, we went downstairs, and me and him talked down by his Sprinter about everything he had going on, and that was it. The next time I seen Katt Williams, it was on a FaceTime call. He came to my salon, spent about $3,500.
That's love.
And he left. I was just like, this is a real dude, man. So
that's dope, Jock. Man, listen, we got to do this again.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you stopping through the Culture Club. Shout out to young Jock, a legend in the game, doing so many other things beyond just creating music, man. Multimedia personality. You got a couple films coming out.
Yeah. You
was kissing Tay Diggs' girlfriend in the film.
Oh, man.
I guess we can't get into that right now, huh?
You ain't got time. We could. You got to go. I don't. So
listen,
till next time.
Next time. We're going to talk about that next time, man. Young Jock, the Culture Club, Uncensored. Check for us, man. We'll do it again.